desert, there's no water. There's no water in the desert. So what happens? The deer is thinking there is some water in the desert. Just like, in the horizon, sometimes we see some waves because of the sun rays in the horizon. So in the same way, the deer is running far away in the desert trying to get water, but there's no water. In the end, the deer is so tired and he dies in the desert with hunger and thirst under the sun rays. So in the same way, we are in the material world. This material world is like a desert. This material world is like a desert. This world is like a desert. We are hoping to get happiness, but we'll never get happiness. It's like searching for water, for a oasis in the desert. And the Bhagavatam explains, whatever we do, we think we'll get the happiness, but actually never get happiness. Shukadeva Goswami Pada says, "Hey Maharaj Parikshit, jivas in this world, they are doing karma activities to try to find happiness, but they never tie. In the end, they only get unhappiness." So you can see Mahaprabhu, how he saw how the jivas, they are under the delusion of Maya, and Mahaprabhu is running behind them to try to deliver them. And he's raising his two arms, running behind the jivas. And Mahaprabhu is saying, "Hey jiva, which is like a deer, once at least, look at me. I am here for you," and chant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. তাই শ্লোকের মধ্যে তক্তা সুদেশিত বড় বড় দেবতাগণের যে বাঞ্ছিত ধন. So this wealth which is even rare for great demigods. Mahaprabhu had so much opulence, he had all this happiness in the family life. He gave up all this to deliver the living entities. His wife was just like Lakshmi, Vishnu Priya, and Mahaprabhu also gave up his wife. He gave up also his old parents. He gave up all this beauty of his wife and everything. So much wealth also. Mahaprabhu had so much money also. High family birth, like he was born in a high family. His wife was just like Lakshmi. And he gave up all this name, fame, and reputation, all this knowledge, this glory, like this fame. He gave up all this just to deliver the living entities. Mahaprabhu took sannyas. So in this verse explains Tyakta Swadusta Jasuriptas Raja Lakshmi. Means to fulfill the words of a Brahmana, Mahaprabhu took sannyas. So the acharyas explain. Some people explain this verse according meaning it relates to Ramachandra, but our acharyas explain that no, this sloka refers to Mahaprabhu. This sloka refers to Mahaprabhu. This sloka refers to Mahaprabhu. This sloka refers to Mahaprabhu in the Bhagavatam. So some people say that this sloka refers to Rama, like because actually like saying that Ramachandra gave up Sita, but actually this is meaning for Vishnu Priya Devi, this shloka. So Shastra explains that Mahaprabhu, he took sannyas, and that day he went to the house of Shridhar. So he went to Shridhar and he took some lau, some vegetable, and gave to his mother. Mother, please make dud lok, like white pumpkin, sweet rice of white pumpkin. And also mocha, also banana flowers. Mahaprabhu loved dud lok loki and mocha ghant, banana flower sabji with and also Dud Loki Loki, like a sweet rice made of some pumpkin. So Mahaprabhu had gotten married, and Mahaprabhu was never joking with Vishnupriya. So generally after marriage, Mahaprabhu was not speaking to Vishnupriya, but today he was speaking so much with her and saying, "Oh, please decorate me and do so many things." He was giving so much attention to her. So Vishnupriya thought, since we got married, Mahaprabhu is not even talking to me or anything, but today he's talking so much to me. Shastra explains. You know, like for example, a fire. Before the fire is extinguished, the fire will be so much bright, you know, so much color, so much more bigger than normal, and then it will extinguish, you know. So in the same way, Mahaprabhu was giving so much attention to Vishnupriya Devi, and she was even thinking it was strange because he generally does not give so much attention to me like this. So she saw some inauspicious signs, like she hit her feet in a stone and her toe was bleeding, and also she went to take bath in the Ganga, and what happened? That the nose ring, that like a sign of her marriage, also she lost in the water. So she was thinking, oh, something will happen today, surely. And then Mahaprabhu was Vishnupriya in the room, and he was thinking, today I must take sannyas. Today I must take sannyas. So Mahaprabhu indicated to the devotees, I must take sannyas. And the devotees, they are trying to pacify Mahaprabhu, but Mahaprabhu said, no, I will go away from Navadvip and I'll never come back. But Navadvip is the highest place. Navadvip is no different from Vrindavan. Like Krishna doesn't give one step out of Vrindavan. Krishna doesn't give one, never goes away from Vrindavan. So in the same way, Navadvipa Chandra Gaura Sundara, he actually also never leaves Navadvipa. He's always here also in Navadvipa only, eternal. So just like Krishna has two manifestations, one in Mathura and another in Dwarka. But the original Krishna is always in Vrindavan with Haladini Shakti Swarupini Srimati Radhika, doing amorous pastimes. So in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's also always in Navadvipadam. Mahaprabhu never leaves Navadvipadam. And he has two manifestations. Like one he took sannyasa in Jagannath Puri and went to Jagannath Puri, and another manifestation is also he met Raya Ramananda and was delivering all the living entities. Our Shastra explains. So Vrishabhanandini Srimati Radhika, she also has two manifestations. One is Samjogini, another Vyogini, Radha, also called Kama and Vama. So in this way also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, absorbed in the mood of Srimati Radhika, he was making all these pastimes. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was leaving his house and going to take sannyas. And Vishnupriya saw some signs that he was going to leave. She was thinking, she was fearing this. So Mahaprabhu had decorated Mahaprabhu, and he was sleeping on the bed. But Mahaprabhu was thinking, I must give up the Vishnupriya and go away. So Vishnupriya Devi, she was serving the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu, and she caught hold of his feet so tightly so that he would not go away. Vishnupriya was whole night holding the feet of Mahaprabhu, but Mahaprabhu thought, how can I go? Then Mahaprabhu remembered Jogamaya, because Jogamaya always helps in the Leelas of Bhagavan. So remembering Jogamaya came in the eyes of Vishnupriya Devi, giving so much sleepiness in her eyes, so much sleepiness. Vishnupriya Devi could not resist the sleepiness, and she slept there in the feet of Mahaprabhu. Then Mahaprabhu slowly he was coming out from the hands of Vishnupriya Devi, and he also remembered, oh, I cannot take sannyasa without the permission of my mother. So Jogamaya also arranged that, like Shachidevi heard the sound of a cuckoo bird, woo-hoo, and she told something, some Vaishnava is saying, hey cuckoo, bird of Vraja, go to Braj. So in this way, indirectly, Mahaprabhu took the permission of his mother to take sannyas. Then after that, Mahaprabhu, what did he do? He came to this Ganga Ghat, this place here in the Ganges. He did prayers to Ganges, Devi Sureshri Bhagavat Gange. So in this way, he did so many Stavas prayers to Ganges. He did the worship to the Ganges. Then he gave up all the attachments. And Mahaprabhu, he jumped in the Ganges. So Nirdai means you can give up anything in the world, but to give up your own mother, this is so bad thing. But Mahaprabhu was cruel, he was hard-hearted. He just left everything and he crossed the Ganges and went to Katwa. Before, the name of Katwa was Kantankanagari, was the name of Katwa. That place, Mahaprabhu went there, and then he took sannyas from Keshav Bharati. So many descriptions are there. Later, early in the morning, Vishnupriya Devi, she woke up and she saw that the bed was empty. Gauranga was not there. Then Shachidevi thought, Shachimata was crying so much. Listening to the cry of Shachimata, all the Navadipavasis came there. And then Mahaprabhu took sannyas and he wanted to go to Vrindavana. But Nityananda Prabhu was specifying. And he told to some cowherd boys, oh, if some man comes here, some sannyasi comes, golden complexions, and if he asks you how far is Vrindavan, you tell him that he took the wrong path, and you show the opposite path, show that the path of Vrindavan is the other one. So Nityananda also told to Advaita Acharya, oh, quickly prepare some boat and so to cross Ganga and to come to Shantipur, and prepare bring some sannyas for Mahaprabhu. Then Advaita Acharya prepared this. Then Mahaprabhu was trying to go to Vrindavan, but he met these cowherd boys who had been trained by Nityananda Prabhu, and Mahaprabhu saw them and embraced these cowherd boys, and Mahaprabhu was absorbed in Vrindavana mood and speaking many shlokas. Then he asked, oh, how far is Vrindavan? Then all these boys who had been trained by Mahaprabhu, by Nityananda, these cowherd boys had been trained by Nityananda, they showed the wrong direction to Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu, chanting holy names, he came back to Shantipur. Nityananda was there. Mahaprabhu asked, Nitai, you also came to Vrindavan? Then Nityananda told, oh Prabhu, wherever you are is Vrindavan. And Advaita Acharya also came to Vrindavan. Then Advaita Acharya told, Prabhu, wherever you are, that place is Vrindavan. Then Mahaprabhu saw so many, like jackfruit trees, coconut trees. Mahaprabhu said, well, maybe I'm confused. This place is not Vrindavan, this kind of trees. So this is Shantipur. No, Mahaprabhu, but we didn't lie. Because this river is also, Jamuna is also here next to Ganga. So then they explained to Mahaprabhu, give me 2 minutes to speak, to finish speaking. So Mahaprabhu, what did he do? He saw the Ganges and he jumped in the Ganges. then Nityananda took him out of the water and gave him some cloth and took him up in the boat again. So Nityananda called all the Navadvipavasis, and all the Navadvipavasis, they came to Shantipur to see Mahaprabhu. Even Shachimata also came, but only one person didn't come. Who? Vishnupriya. Why? Because Shastra explains that a sannyasi should never see a woman, like especially his ex-wife. So Mahaprabhu, mercifully, he gave his wooden sandals to Vishnupriya Devi. Mahaprabhu sent his wooden sandals to Vishnupriya. Vishnupriya, she was chanting like this: those who worship Mahaprabhu, they are my life and soul. Sing, worship Gauranga. Sing Gauranga's name. Take Gauranga's name. So in this verse, this poem explains what Vishnupriya was singing. So this place is called Nirdaya Ghat. Shankaracharya also, he was coming here to preach the Mayavad philosophy. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared to Shankaracharya and told, "Hey Shankara Shiva, you are my dear devotee. You can preach, yes, please preach this Mayavad philosophy everywhere. But don't preach this in Navadipadam, because Navadip is such a dear place to me. Don't preach Mayavad philosophy in my dear Dham, Navadipa." So in this way, Shankaracharya, when we were taking bath, the devotee asked me, "Why do we speak about the four sampradayas here generally? Why?" Because Shastra explains that if we have this Mayavad philosophy in our hearts, until we have this philosophy of Mayavadism in our hearts, Shuddha Bhakti will never be able to enter your heart. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's clearly explained also. If you have the Mayavada philosophy in your heart will be hard as like a thunderbolt. If your heart is contaminated by the philosophy of Mayavad, your heart will be very hard, just like a thunderbolt. And Bhagavad Bhakti cannot appear in your heart. And so in this way, generally we speak about the philosophy of the four sampradayas here. Because the Shakara Sampradaya is not a sampradaya which is bona fide in the scriptures. Only four are bona fide: Shri, Brahma, Rudra and Sanak Sampradaya. If you take the mantra in these four sampradayas, you will attain the perfection in the mantras. But if you get mantra in other sampradayas, you can never get the perfection of the mantra. So the main acharya of Shri Sampradaya is Lakshmi Devi. Now in this Kali Yuga was Ramanacharya. The Madhva Sampradaya main acharya, original acharya, was Brahma. And in Kali Yuga was Madhacharya. And the main Sampradaya, original acharya of Rutra Sampradaya, was Shivaji himself. And in Kali Yuga was Vishnu Swami. The main acharya of Sanak Sampradaya are the four Kumaras, and in Kali Yuga is Nibadita the acharya. So in this way, Mahaprabhu, he honored all the Sampradayas, but he accepted the Brahma Sampradaya. Sometimes also there were some things wrong in the Brahma Sampradaya that had to be defeated, but still the speciality of the Brahma Sampradaya, there is very special, and that's why Mahaprabhu accepted the Brahma Sampradaya. There are two things. Like two things why Mahaprabhu accepted the Brahma Sampradaya. Two kinds of vision. Mahaprabhu established the Achinta Beda Beda Tata Siddhanta. So Mahaprabhu honors the Vastu Parinambad that the other acharyas established, but Mahaprabhu especially established the Shakti Parinamvad. And then Mahaprabhu established the Achinta Veda Veda Tattva Siddhanta. Gurudeva, he wrote a beautiful book about this. It's a book about the 4 Sampradayas. It's in Hindi, English, I think. Bengali also. You can find this book. We must know about the 4 Sampradayas. Why? Because Mahaprabhu is God himself, but he never created a 5th Sampradaya. He didn't create a 5th Sampradaya. No. So, but he accepted the Madhva Sampradaya. Why? Because there are 2 things in the Madhva Sampradaya. First is that Madhacharya always speak about Dvaita Bhedvad, dualism. Like he spoke about 5 difference between God and inert and inert, God and soul and soul, etc. Panch Bhed. And also another point is that he also indicated the Gopi Bhav. In the Madhva Sampradaya there was a bit also of Gopi Bhav. So this is a very beautiful place. We come here, we must know the conception of our Sampradayas. The Shastra explains, you should not be lazy to enter the Tattva Siddhanta. If you enter Tattva Siddhanta, then your mind will be fixed in Krishna. If you don't enter Tattva Siddhanta, actually, you cannot enter your bhajan, spiritual life. Siddhanta is like the basis of your spiritual life. And the rasa, Madhurya, is just like a big castle, palace you built on it. If the bases are good, strong, then the palace can remain. Otherwise, if any small earthquake or shaking the earth, then your palace will collapse. So, if on the base of Siddhanta, you can one day relish rasa Madhurya. So the Vaishnavas will speak even more. I just speak some introduction, just a little bit, but the Vaishnavas will speak even more.
গতবারে এখানে বলেছিলাম আমাকে এখানে বলতে দিতে হবে। শ্রৌতি মহারাজ will speak here.